Live, y'all. That's what's happening, is we're live. So, hi everybody. Excited to be here. It is 11 o'clock. It is Thursday. This is Tell Me More About That. Where, talk about things from this week. So as you get here, chime in, say hello, leave a comment. Would love to hear, who's here, where are you from, where are you listening from, what company you work for, all that kind of stuff. Love to have people chime in and check in and say hello. This week I'm excited because we're talking about culture, which is my number one jam, and a pretty juicy topic today. So yeah, things like that. Man, it's good. Love this Thursday business. Cool. And it's 11 o'clock. It's 11:02 actually. So we'll just officially get this started. Hey, Shauna, nice to have you here. Hello. So yeah, this is Tell Me More About That, where we take the topic from my Culture Drop video that comes out every Tuesday, and then we sort of unpack it, do some Ask Me Anything questions, and just kind of like dive into that topic a little bit more. And this week it was, is culture a buzzword? Why does culture matter? Etc. So, also, I have this amazing Oregon State Parks mug that has a rattlesnake in a uniform. I worked with the Oregon State Parks a bunch of times. The teams over there, over the last couple of years, and it's been amazing, and they're great. So I got one that has a blue jay, one that has a rattlesnake, one that has I think it's a gray whale in a uniform. Pretty amazing. Anyways, I love these mugs. Cool. So. That's it. The way we generally do this is we talk about the topic first, and questions, and kind of unpack what's there, and then answer any questions or discussion that comes up in the chat, and then anything else that is like any question that you want to ask. This is also just that Ask Me Anything format, so talking about anything you want to talk about, we'll jam about it. So yeah, cool. All right, good. Oh, also, every week we do a poll on my Instagram account with something controversial. This week it was NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. Choose your 90s boy band. And I'm shocked at the results, I'll be honest with you. It was close, but Backstreet Boys won with 53% over NSYNC at 47%. And, I mean, I don't know. For me, NSYNC, but it's fine. They're both great. Chris, hey, what's up? Chris Somo, hi-ho. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. I love it. Cool. And also, I'm curious, of the people that are here, are you NSYNC or are you Backstreet Boys? Which one's better? Hey, Skip is here. What's up, Skip? First concert? Backstreet Boys was your first concert. That's amazing. It's good. It's good stuff. Okay, cool. So this week's topic was, is culture a buzzword? And obviously, I don't think it's a buzzword. On the blog this week and in the video that I put out, the whole conversation for me, and this is the heart of what I do with teams and working with organizations, is a lot of organizations, a lot of people, business leaders, talk about culture, have a lot to say about culture, don't know how to do culture. And sort of the approach that I use with culture is relatively unique in that when you ask business leaders about culture, or you ask organizations, what is your culture? How do you do culture? You get different answers across the board. It's not kind of consistent, and a lot of the heart of my work is working with teams to actually make that. So this is a strategic, tangible, step-by-step approach to creating culture, and I just find that it's not it's not collectively understood. And a big thing that I see out there a lot on LinkedIn and conversations surrounding culture is that a lot of people are just you treat people how you want to be treated, and I say this all the time, but pretty much every company, at some point sat down with their executive team to be we need to figure out our culture, and it's okay, and they waste 2 days in an offsite retreat, and come out of that retreat with a list of values that are the same values that every other single company came up with, which is respect, trust, integrity, teamwork, excellence, fun, and not to totally trash on that, but the work to be done around culture is that you have to define what that looks like in practice, and cultures that are built on values don't usually behaviors and the way people show up in the organization do not reflect those values, because they're just ideas, right? The idea of respect or the idea of integrity or teamwork is like, it's not specific enough. And so that's a huge part of like what I talk about, like the heart of my work and what I love so much is that like you have to define the behaviors of your culture. You have to define the ground rules that says this is how every single person here is expected to show up in very specific, clearly defined behaviors. Like we don't badmouth or gossip about other people, that we're open and receptive to feedback, and that we like actively seek out feedback. Stuff like that, talking about how do we react to change, how do we react to conflict, how do we deal with like the dynamics of human beings working together, but like in behaviors. So yeah. So let's see, everybody, did anyone say in sync? What do we got here? Bye. Cool. Dancing videos, you guys, I love it. Okay, cool. So y'all are crazy. I love it. It's wonderful. Culture. I could literally never shut up about this topic, and it's something that I love to jam about with companies and organizations and talk about like how it's done, because I hear a lot of people talking about it, and I never hear someone like nail it in terms of like, this is how you actually create culture. And I think that it's so important. I think that to see culture as a tangible thing that you can create, and also like to see it as a skill set. It's like as a leader, as a leadership team, as an organization, if you know how to establish culture in a really effective way and like execute it in a skillful way, just like with marketing or sales or anything else, it's a huge advantage. You're talking about like, how do people show up together, and how do you get a group of people to adhere to a code of conduct, right? Just like a collectively understood, clearly articulated culture, and integrate that into like all your systems and processes and hiring and onboarding and training and development. And like, how do you integrate it? How do you be consistent with it? How do you live it every day so that it becomes normal? It becomes like, people get socialized into like, this is our culture here. And everybody understands it and everybody adheres to that. And I think that that's a challenge for workplaces, but it's like the most important thing. And I think a lot of these conversations to me are very obvious of like, that has to be a priority for you, the same way that we prioritize everything else that we want to be wildly successful with in business. So yeah, cool. Any like, I don't know, thoughts, questions, people that are here around culture and or things that you guys deal with, or I'm just always so curious to hear about things like that, what's going on and what's out there. And we had a lot of discussion this week on Twitter and everywhere else, because we like throw out prompts and like what are the 3 things that make up a great culture. Of course, the things that you would expect in terms of like collaboration, transparency, fun, trust, inclusion, those types of things, which is great. We had somebody that mentioned something else that I want to talk about. I think is really crucial when it comes to culture. My team was talking about that this morning, is also customer service and customer experience. That employees who work inside a great culture, who love their jobs and they love their coworkers and they love their company, like they create great customer experiences for clients and customers. Like, and the opposite is true. When you go to a place where the culture sucks and employees feel downtrodden and not valued and they don't give a shit about their jobs or the company, like you can feel that, you can sense it, you can tell, and like nobody would go out of your way to like make your day. It's just like, I'm here to get a paycheck. And when you go into organizations where they empower employees to like make customers happy and they just like their jobs, it's like those people make better customer experiences. And I think it's so much, it's so beneficial to customer experience when you have employees who love their jobs. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's such another thing too that I don't know why culture isn't so critically, massively prioritized and important to organizations, other than they just don't know how to do it. But one company at a time, one leader at a time, one conference at a time. It's like, that is my kind of like, that's my work. It's like, get people to understand how to do culture and not get away from it feeling like a buzzword. Because if you don't know how to do something and you've never seen it like executed properly, then yes, of course you'd call it a buzzword. If marketing wasn't something that was like wildly understood, that people like go to college to learn and like organizations use all the time, if you just had this idea of marketing, people would be like, oh, that's a buzzword. Like, I don't know what to tell you about that. Like, it's a skill. You can learn how to do it. And it has like an impact. So Skip, redefining my team culture is something I need to focus on. We now work remote. I can see how living your culture is really important even more now. 100%. Yeah, communication, culture, the way people interact, especially remote, especially when things are challenging. We go through times of uncertainty or great change or whatever. Like, teams that have a great culture as a foundation can thrive through those things and know how to operate. And teams that don't have that foundation, when, it's a fucking earthquake analogy, right? It's like, if you don't have a solid structure and a solid foundation, like, an earthquake is going to tumble everything that you have. And like, if you are, I don't know, having a great culture is like seismic security for you. It's like, you can deal with change and chaos and stuff like that if you have a good culture and you can withstand that. But teams that don't have good communication, that don't have great leadership, that don't have great culture, it's like, when things go bad, they go really bad, because you don't have this cohesive team and people understanding like what's expected of them, and like, there's just so many dynamics and elements to that. So yeah, I love it. Yeah. So cool. I guess let's let's move on. Let's talk about like any cues, any things about culture, or like people that are leaders, challenges that you have, or in your organization. I'm always just like, love any question or conversation around this. Yeah, cool. I dig it. Today's affirmation. So Carrie on my team runs on Instagram. It's the @affirmation destination, and they do daily affirmations and stuff, or weekly affirmations, etc. Today's is, I love and accept my body, which is great. It's wonderful to do that. I think it's like good. You should follow them. Carrie always putting out like really positive, awesome things to think about. And I also normally do a read, watch, listen, kind of the end of the episodes here. And I did something funny last night. So here's the story. All of a sudden they're advertising this like season 2 of Snowpiercer, right? The show that I'd never heard of, never heard anything about it. But Daveed Diggs is in it from Hamilton and a bunch of people. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. I was like, I should go watch the first season, getting ready for like the second season to come out or whatever. So like, I found it on Netflix and I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm watching it. So I'm watching what I think is a season premiere to a TV show. And it was a fucking movie. I didn't know. It was like the whole thing. But I thought I was watching season 1, but there's a Snowpiercer movie. And I watched that. But I was like, 2 hours, must be like a premiere, like a really long episode. But it totally finished the whole thing. And so I guess there's a season 1. It's on some other platform. And I accidentally watched the movie. I thought it was good, but it ends. And I was like, this can't be the first. Maybe. Anyways, it was confusing, but it was great. I'm excited to actually find that first season and watch it and check it out. But I did it. Cool. Chris, autonomy, non-micromanaging, fist bumps. That's great. That's great for culture. Autonomy is important, right? Like, giving people the power to do whatever they want, not to like micromanage people, and like hiring great people who you trust, that are competent at their job, that are highly accountable, and I think if you do that, then you can create policies where you like let people do their jobs. And like, it's like one of the things that we have. I just had a conversation with a team, with a woman who's running the HR department in a manufacturing organization, and she's come in with a lot of different ideas around their culture, and they started offering unlimited PTO, which is unheard of, especially in the manufacturing world. That's just not done. But my team has that unlimited PTO, and it's like, it's so simple. Like, people can take time off whenever the hell they want. I don't really care. It's like, take all the time off that you need. It's like an easy benefit that you can give to companies, right? You're giving people autonomy, and I just like the pushback, or the thing that people say is like, well, won't you have all your employees take time off unlimited? And I'm like, who are you hiring? Are you hiring like people that don't care about their jobs, that are not accountable? It's like, you have to have enough trust in your people and your hiring process and your systems in place to give feedback and coaching, that you're like, if someone were to try to request 3 months off, we're not just going to approve it for no reason. It's just like, there's balance, right, to everything that we do. But I just, that's like such an easy kind of thing. It's like unlimited PTO, give people the world. But then you can also ask the world of them. It's like, hold people to a high standard and hold them accountable to like really like high level positive behaviors, right, in terms of how they show and what you expect out of them. But at the same time, it's like, give them the world. And I think it's like, it's just such an easy recipe for great culture and organizations, but it's not widely done. It keeps me employed forever and ever and ever. Yeah. So cool. All right. Well, that's it. I love this. Carrie in that circular tortilla blanket. You love it. Take naps. as a burrito. That's my favorite thing. Cool. Anyways, all right, guys, we're gonna wind this thing down. For those of you that don't know, I'm sure everybody here does know. I do a weekly video every week. It's the Culture Drop. Next week, let's see. Next couple we got coming on brainstorming, like more effective, like upward brainstorming kind of thing. We've got a customer service one coming up that is around like empowering employees. Some of the stuff that we kind of talked about a little bit in here. So we got some good stuff coming up on there. Yeah, that's it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on social, all the stuff. Chris, Cynthia, Skip, who else is here? Shauna. Great to see all of you guys. Thanks for tuning in, being here. Love it. Okay, that's it. Go be awesome. I love you, people. And I'll see you later. Okay, bye.